Hey y'all, it's September the 30th, 2017, and I'm back. Alright, it's been a while. Fixing to go on a tirade. I figured I would start at the beginning. Alright, you already understand that everybody and their mama talking about this NFL, talking about this Donald Trump, talking about taking a knee, talking about protest, talking about racial inequality, talking about racial tension here in America. All right. And I've taken my sweet time. Everybody has already put out a video, and I was refraining from doing so for quite some time. Thing is, I do have to point your attention out to a video I made a long, long time ago, well before Donald Trump had much to say on the topic. Um, a video I made a long, long time ago, and I'll leave you a link so that you can go see it. It's referring to this whole situation of taking a knee, and I did it a long, long time ago. All right, it's quite religious, but we're gonna touch upon that aspect of this whole situation a little bit later. All right, so here's what I want to say. Uh, you know, everybody is getting a little bit flustered over this whole situation. All sort of people have all sort of different opinions on the situation. I just want to break it down very, very simply. All right. People out here playing the football, those that you see kneeling and winking their arms like some little girls. Um, those people are protesting, right? As part of their First Amendment right, certainly, certainly it is. Um, they're protesting, right? What are they protesting? Um, it's hard to tell. Racial inequality in America, perhaps police brutality on those who refer to themselves as black people. Maybe that's what they're protesting, right? And in doing so, whether I like it or not, whether you like it or not, what they're doing successfully is alienating a whole bunch of their fan base, is what they're doing. Because you have to understand that there's people in America, unless you want to completely deny reality, and that's what you're trying to do, there's people in America who got black skin, brown skin, yellow skin, red skin, white skin, all sort of skins, and they don't agree with y'all. You understand? I mean, you could call them racist, you can call them KKK, all right? But there's people of all sort of creeds and backgrounds and stuff don't agree with y'all on the whole racial equality thing. Just don't agree. Right? And they feel alienated. There's a whole bunch of people who love that flag that y'all are disrespecting, right? And it does not matter what color they are. Meanwhile, the whole premise behind the thing is some sort of racial inequality, which is quite absurd coming from millionaires. All right. Not only that, it's just a very weak form of protest. Let me give you an example. An extreme form of protest would be if an NFL player was so upset by the dozen or so unarmed killings of black folks that happen every year. That first of all, there's a whole bunch of, not a whole bunch of, but there is a decent amount of number of people who get shot by the police. They come from all sort of different colors. People are trying to deny reality. People are trying to deny statistics. All right, but like I was saying, if you were to actually, if you were wanting to protest, if there was an NFL player out there, NBA player out there, who wanted to protest in a way that would impress me, they would hold up a big sign that said, okay, something real bad's happening here, therefore I quit my $1 million job, right? Just to show y'all that this is actually important, right? It's extremely unimpressive to kneel down during a song and you think you're making a difference. No, you're making people mad. The only people who are encouraged by what you're doing are people who hated America and the national anthem and think it's racist to begin with. You're not changing anybody's sides. You're alienating people who honestly didn't want politics in their sports at all. They didn't want Republican politics in their sports. They didn't want Democratic politics in their sports. They didn't want politics in their sports to begin with, alienating them. And so inevitably, you can already assume that the NFL is losing money from this. In fact, they've been losing money from this for quite some time, right? But however, now they're losing more money, right? So the form of protest is utterly unimpressive, right? The cause, although some might find it valid, there's some from every sort of color of skin that you can think of who do not find it valid at all and have left the NFL and taken their money with them. You would think that the NFL would probably back down from their position. All these NFL owners and these players of, everybody's racist. Donald Trump's racist. America's racist now. You figure that they would back down, and it seems as though they are backing down a little bit because they do understand that they're losing money at this point. Now, just to touch upon Donald Trump, right? And the fact that he's in this situation, like I said, I made a video about this subject. Many people have made a video about this subject long, long before Donald Trump ever said anything about it, right? But like I said, just to touch upon Donald Trump, me personally, in my opinion, I don't think Donald Trump even had to touch this whole situation with a 20-foot pole. I don't think that he really had to. I don't think that it was necessary for Donald Trump to pipe up in this whole situation. He really didn't have to. Thing is, number one, you got to understand Donald Trump likes making distractions. He likes making spectacles of things, right? Whether you like him or not, that's what he does. That's part of what he does, right? And of course, he never even had to touch upon the situation. The thing is, what I think Donald Trump did as a form of strategy is he saw that most Americans who love America, who would absolutely hate living in another country that's less free. He saw that most Americans would probably resonate with his message if he had a message of anti kneeling during the national anthem. Uh, whether you like him or not, Donald Trump is absolutely right about that, right? Another win for Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, right? Thing is, it was unnecessary, and some people found it uncouth that he would even think to do something like that. Maybe it was. However, the rule of thumb is Donald Trump wins. LeBron James needs to understand because LeBron James doesn't always win. He needs to understand that Donald Trump does always win. He always does. There's no proof of anything else. So I just wanted to touch upon that. But before we get out of here, I did want to make reference to the previous video that I made that you can watch it, and I made it a long time ago. All right. This is very sick. This whole thing. First of all, you had to deny all sort of facets of reality in order to think that these football players are making a difference. They're not. All right. You really do have to deny all sort of reality. I want you to just break it down real quick about what exactly these footballers are doing. All right, you got to understand, like I explained in the first video, this is very religious what they're doing, kneeling like this. All right, for example, I want to give you a couple examples. I don't know if you remember the movie 300. Does anybody remember that movie? Okay, towards the end, Xerxes, he was like, dude, you kneel before me. Why? Because you worship me, all right? You worship me now. You eat from my hand, you damn loser. And then, what's his name? What's his name? The king of the Spartans, not the king of the Spartans, but the main guy. Um, he was like, nah, I ain't gonna kneel. All right, you better kill me. I ain't gonna kneel, and you better kill me, is what he said. All right. So, but that was real talk. All right, that was something that actually happened. You do not kneel in front of anybody except God. The God you worship Him. That's why. You don't worship any other human being or anything else, right? Because why? Because you have pride in yourself. because you want a better future for your children, which they don't have to kneel for anyone, to include Xerxes. All right. Let me give you another example. Uh, People, they get married, right? A man will get married to a lady. Here in America, traditionally, how it happens is a man will get down on his knee. I want to explain something to you. The man gets down on his knee in front of that girl. He does not get down on his knee in front of every girl. He gets down on his knee in front of one girl, right? And what this shows her is basically that he has something of a worship for her life-giving essence. Basically, he's showing her that she is everything that he needs, right? And that's why he does this. It's very crucial when people get down on a knee. It really is. It always has been, right? So with that with that in mind, what exactly are they kneeling to? Is it victimhood? Are they kneeling to the god of victimhood because they have a victimhood complex? Even though they have millions of dollars, doesn't matter. They still don't have success or peace or pride in their life, right? Are they kneeling down to? Because I don't know. Who are they kneeling down to? What are they kneeling down to? Is this a protest? Tell me something. When's the last time you've seen someone kneeling in protest? Can you tell me that? Right? It doesn't happen. People kneel in worship. What are they worshiping? Their victimhood, their denial of reality, the denial of the reality of there's people of all sort of races who don't agree with them, who love America, who will stand for the flag irregardless. Those people aren't standing for the American government, by the way. Those people aren't standing for slavery that existed a long time ago. Those people who stand for the flag, put their hand on their heart like this, those people, for better or worse, whether you like it or not, what they're doing is they're showing reverence for a country that did not start slavery, it ended slavery. Right? I mean, like I said, people are in such denial reality because you can look at every single other country and they got histories. Trust me. Uh, America's probably statistically, probably the least racist country on earth that existed. Ended slavery, did not invent it. Right? As far as inequality goes and stuff like this, I mean, you know, these NFL players are tripping and they're worshiping something that they're not going to tell us what it is, and they're going to blame it on the fact that black people are oppressed, even though they themselves are black and get millions and millions of dollars to do what? To play a child's game in America, the least racist place on damn earth. When people will pay you millions and millions of dollars to play a child's game, slap each other on the butts, right? And create damn fools out of yourself every single year anyways. Y'all were making fools out of yourself well before this happened. This whole breast cancer awareness thing, that's coming up, ain't it? Ain't that October? Right? Ain't that where all these football players start wearing pink? It makes sense now why they're wearing pink, huh? Right? Because they'll kneel down for anything, for everything, so long as it's not America, because they don't like it. They feel like it's racist because they're in such denial of reality that they don't understand themselves that they are rich. Why? Because they live in a certain country that made them rich. All right. And, you know, I took a while to even talk about this. I was letting everybody else talk about this because I already touched upon this. But it does make me sick to my stomach. Everything about the NFL is making me very sick to my stomach. Me personally, I don't have a problem against football. I don't mind watching football. The NFL, they took over football. They became synonymous with football, right? They became a titan that could not be stopped. The XFL tried to stop them. All sort of people tried to compete and lost miserably, right? So uh, it was a titan that couldn't be taken down from the outside. What we're seeing right now is a titan that's taking its own self down from the inside. Why? It seems like they have some sort of political agenda. That's why. In fact, it seems like they've had some sort of political agenda for years now. right? You might notice that it leans a little bit left. You might notice that, you know, years before this has happened, for years and years now, the NFL's been taking money from the military in order to promote the military industrial complex. Notice how none of this, you can take a 360 view of this whole situation, none of it makes sense. Not a lick of sense, right? They've been promoting the military industrial complex, which if you were going to have a complaint with the dang America, if you were going to do that, that's where your complaint probably would lie. That's what would make sense. They never had a problem with it. Not ever. They never had a problem taking money from the military and promoting it, saying support the troops and this and that. Never had a problem. Now they have a problem. Now they have a problem with the flag. Now they're willing to resort to all sort of cowardly, lazy tactics of simply putting on a knee. Why don't you quit your job like a real man would do? Oh yeah, I forgot. That's hard to find in the NFL. Forgot about that. Anyways, I'm gonna holler at y'all about some stuff that actually is important. This what I hollered at y'all about, not important. Not at all. If anything, a distraction. All right. So we are balls deep in the tribulation. I will be hollering at y'all later. It's September the 30th, 2017.